I say, Jim, I am feeling that old right now. That reminds me of these two seniors. They were at the doctor's office, and the doctor told them, you tend to be a little forgetful now. You should probably start writing some things down. And so they do, and they get home. They're sitting watching television, and the gentleman gets up, starts toward the kitchen, and his wife says, "Hey, would you get me some ice cream?" He says, "Sure, I'll get you some ice cream." And she says, "Well, you should write it down. You know, the doctor said you should write things down." And she says, "Well, I wanted chocolate syrup and whipped cream on that too." And he says, "I know you like your whipped cream and chocolate syrup." And she said, "You should write it down. You're liable to forget." He takes another step in the kitchen and she says, "Well, don't forget to put the cherry and the nuts on it. And you better write it down." And he screams back at him, "I can remember that." Half an hour later, he shows up. He hands her he hands her bacon and eggs. And she says, "I told you to write it down. I wanted toast with that."
Everybody has to unmute so we can laugh.
Oh, I got to unmute it now.
Please buy a new book.
All right. This is this presentation is not designed for the expert email user out there. It's designed more for that person that has, and I'll get to a little later, has a few too many emails in their inbox. And you might be among them. I don't know. All right. And I'm going to share my screen. I just have to do some little adjustments here. All right. Do you have more than 100 emails in your inbox? And I don't want to embarrass anybody, but does anybody have more than 500 in their inbox? I can get into I have seen an inbox with 16,000 of emails in the inbox, right? And do you get more than 100 emails a day? Now, why are you getting all those emails? Well, you're probably not taking some steps to get them what we call unsubscribed. You hate to open your email because of the first two issues there. There's so many there, I don't know what to do with them. And I've got so many backed up, I don't know what to do with that either. Right? Do you have problems finding an email and you know you need to respond to one of them? Okay, some of you may have figured that one out recently, but you may have trouble finding that, right? Are you getting way too many emails from a particular source? Let's say I know a few people that are in this class that are getting a bunch of emails from, let's say, Macy's or Bell's or etc. Okay, so you need to figure out how to manage it. How do you keep keeping your how to keep from letting your email getting out of control, having 10,000 in your inbox. I'll give you some simple strategies for everyday email users. After managing your email, the overview here, I will also do a demo of how you do it on an iPhone, and I'll probably show you how to do it on Gmail or Thunderbird. Okay, so we'll look at those particular things. So what strategy should we have, right? Are you getting notification overload? Consistent pings keep you in reactive mode. It could be bells sending you continual reminders. It could be APCUG getting you a lot of reminders, right? Are you getting decision fatigue? What you should be doing is every time you get an email, you need to make a decision. What are you going to do with it? And we'll talk about that a little later. But you do need to make a decision. And it should be something other than I'll look at it later, which is a lot of times that's no decision, right? And a lot of people are using their inbox as a TBD list. And that's fine, but you can't have 10,000 TBDs. You can have maybe 5 or 10 or 15. And if you're reluctant to delete something like all those sales, are you fearful of missing out on one of them? Ask yourself that question. Okay. Are you getting too many emails? And here's a key: we're not deleting messages. Is there any reason you're keeping that message forever? You're saving everything? Do you even know where the delete key is? Are you using folders to organize your mail? And that's one of the things we'll talk about, right? Are you using folders to put things in that you do want to keep? Oftentimes I run across emails, well, I'm keeping all of them because I want all the pictures that are in them. A couple of things you could do there is you could save the picture in your photo library, or you could create a folder. This folder contains pictures I want to save. The 6 things to do when you're faced with an email, right? Number 1, and you should do one of these 6 every time. Delete it. Reply to it. Thank you very much for sending me that. I really appreciate it, for example. Save it in a folder. So if you're not going to delete it, you're probably going to put it in a folder of some kind, right? Unsubscribe from it. If you're getting too many of them from one particular source and you really are getting tired of going through them, I get a couple that are trivia questions or things like that, and I enjoy them. But after a while, it gets kind of old when you're getting 2 or 3 of them a day. And you block that particular sender, right? And can you junk it? Can you put it in junk mail? And after that, it should end up going into junk mail. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? No? Maybe? Yes?
Yes.
If you don't need the message, delete it. That's the message with deleting unnecessary emails. Promotions and advertisements usually can go right away. Oh, I needed to take advantage of that sale. Well, when was the last time you did that? Ask yourself. Right? Less clutter makes it easier to manage your mail. Right? Just hit the delete key. The other thing you can do it is move it, and I can show you later how to move something, but you could move it to the junk folder. After that, emails coming from that source will end up going to junk. And then you can check your junk folder every once in a while to see if there's something in there that doesn't belong. If you're going to take some action, you probably want to reply and say, I'll get back to you, or here's the action I need to take. If the message needs an answer, is there a reason why you're delaying answering? Try to respond to it promptly. Quick replies prevents emails from building up. And if you don't reply to it promptly, you probably will forget to respond to it at all. Put it in a folder. You can create a folder called Action Needed and put it in that. And then when you go to your email, you can check the Action Needed folder for those items that do require your action. Use folders that stay organized. To stay organized, and that's by creating folders, right? After you have read it, save it to a folder. If you're not going to delete it, put it somewhere. If it's from the insurance company, put it in insurance folder. If it's from the bank, put it in a bank folder. If it's from your significant other, put it in the significant other folder. Here's some categories of folders you might have: bills, travel, recipes, family, medical. That one I called action needed, follow up, or action. I wouldn't necessarily name two folders that, it'd be hard to distinguish. You're waiting on something, waiting on a reply or something like that, right? Those were some suggestions. You can create your own list of ones you like. But there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 folders that you can create. Right? Unsubscribe from unwanted emails, right? Open the email, scroll to the bottom and look for the fine print. Click unsubscribe link. Now, there are some disadvantages of doing this. The disadvantage is some websites you unsubscribe to sell your email address to other websites saying this is a hot one. They're accepting emails. Okay. And so you may have to put up with that for some time, but I have found that eventually it all stops. So unsubscribe. Sometimes the unsubscribe is at the top. With the iPhone, it actually shows up at the top of the email. Right? This helps reduce future inbox clutter. It may take a while for unsubscribe to take effect as well. So it may take days or a week or so for it to stop. And you can unsubscribe multiple times. You can also unsubscribe, I just said that, from the same provider several times. Many of the email programs provide you the capability of blocking unwanted mail addresses, right? Most email programs provide a way to block the email address that the email comes from. And so you won't get an email from them in the future. You can go in and unblock someone if you've blocked one by mistake. It will work, but the email provider may use different email addresses to send the same email. So if you unsubscribe or block, they may try to send you an email from some other address, same email. So you may need to block what seems to be the same email several times. Throw your mail you don't want in junk mail or spam filter or spam. Future emails will end up in that junk folder then. Use the search filter instead of scrolling. This is a technique you can use instead of scrolling through a lot of emails. You can use the filter or the sort program to only see those emails you're interested in. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Use the search bar, search by name, company, keyword, email address. The search saves time so you don't need to scroll through everything. All right. And then if you do a search on a particular thing, let's say I have 43, let's say I have 3,000 emails and 500 of them are from Bells. If I do a sort or a filter on Bells, I will get only the Bells address and I can delete them all at once. The 10-minute email habit, and we'll talk about this a little later as well. Check your email once or twice a day. Don't be continually looking at your email. Delete and move to junk the emails that should be there. Reply to the messages, move important emails to a folder, and delete the rest. If you do this daily, every time you look at your mail, you're going to eliminate the clutter. In rare cases, leave an email in the inbox if you need to follow up within the key thing there next few days. And delete or move the email that have been in the inbox for more than a week. If I ask you right now, how many emails do you have in your inbox that are more than a week old? What are you going to tell me?
10,000?
Point taken.
It was an honest answer.
Entirely
I'm going to ask Phil. I'm sure Phil does. Phil Santino, how many do you have? Unmute yourself.
Hundreds. It's painful.
You have just a handful?
I have hundreds.
Ouch.
It is very painful.
985
Oh,
right
Phil.
now.
I was hoping you would say 4 or something like that.
No, that my wife's in that situation.
Is she? All right. Remember, your inbox is not the storage space. It's a to-do list. It is a to-do list, and be sure to do it. Keep only emails that need attention. Okay? Here's the tools we're going to talk about. Sort, filter, delete or gang delete, block, unsubscribe, create a folder, move emails to junk or spam, move emails to a folder. Let me go back. I want to go back and go through that. I want to do something here.
While you're doing that, Bill, I just checked. This is Huey. I have 28,000 emails in my inbox.
Oh, Huey. There's a good way to print that file. Just a minute. I want to do something here.
A good question is how many unopened emails do you have?
How many do I have?
No. I mean, I've got 3,100 unopened emails.
Just
Honestly.
a minute, Doug. Just a minute.
Bill?
Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I'd like to interject the thought. I mean, as far as email clutter, I mean, I certainly understand the concept of that, having been an old user of Outlook. Once the Outlook PST file got too big, Outlook would explode. But that
Okay.
was my needs back then when I had hundreds of folders and hundreds of filters. My needs are a lot different now. Now I'm just using web-based email.
Okay.
Is clutter a problem in that regard? Should
Sure.
I worry
Sure, it's a
about the
problem.
fact that there are 40,000 emails in there?
I wouldn't keep it there. Doug, what was your question? Or what was your statement?
No, well, I was just stating, I actually truthfully have 3,100 unopened emails. But there,
Well, I'm
no,
not
but
going to
there's
send you email.
no. But there's a counter argument to what you're saying. But I'll let you finish, and then we can have the discussion. I use email as a historical storage.
That's okay. Just don't put it in your inbox. Put it somewhere else.
Sounds to me like you use it for evidence.
Gmail. It sits on the Gmail
Anyway.
server.
All right. Let me start out. Here's my iPhone, right? And by the way, that problem I talked to you folks about earlier, the email showed up on my phone, on my computer, but not in Gmail. If you can explain that, we'll talk about that later. Okay. There's the emails you folks sent me earlier, right? And it's in that special account. And here's the emails you've all sent me, right? So if I wanted to create a folder to put something in, it's right down here. I'm sorry, no, it's not.
No.
If I want to create a folder, in a particular, I tap edit and new mailbox. And so I want to put a new folder in this account that you guys have all sent me emails on. So I tap new mailbox, type in test. No, I'll type in, let's call it TBD. Okay. And now I've created that folder, and there it is right? And so if I have this mail in the inbox here, and I want to save the Cliff Root email, I would tap the folder down here and go ahead and put it there. Whoops. Yes. So now I've moved that particular email to that folder. Okay? Except it didn't go. I'm sorry. I want to move message to hopefully it went. No. Yes, it did. Okay. I'm afraid not one. I got to go to a different mailbox to show you that. So that's the way you create a folder, right? And then you can move it. Let's say I want to move the email from Steve. I want to move it to junk. Forgive me, Steve, right? I hit the arrow there and I will say move to junk. See where it says move it to junk? So it's that easy. Now, I don't want to move him to junk because if he sends me another email, it'll end up going into junk. You just have to remember that. Okay? To unsubscribe to in a particular email, I have to mm, I just opened Popular Science. I get a lot of emails from Popular Science. See where it says unsubscribe? So it's that easy to unsubscribe on the iPhone. I want to block, if I wanted to block Yui here, there's Yui. And I tap Yui, I tap him again, and there's a way for me to block him here. Mm,
Maybe I'm invincible.
there you are. And you come up here, and I go clear down to the bottom. Oh, there it is. It says block. So I tapped him up. So instead of saving him as a contact, I'm going to block him. Right? Come on. And there I can block anything I get from Reader's Digest as well. And again, what I did was I tapped on the name Reader's Digest. This is the iPhone now, and I tap View Contact Card, and right down there it says block this contact. On the iPhone, if I wanted to delete a whole bunch at once, I would tap Select. And then I can go down here and hit the little dots. And then I can tap the garbage can, or I could move them to a particular folder. if I wanted to, if I wanted to just filter for just notes from Huey. I don't know if I have more than one from Huey in here or not. Let's do Zoom. So I'll do a search for Zoom. And here's all the emails I have just for Zoom. That's in all my inboxes. If I tap current box, I have 4. Does that make sense to everybody?
Can we ask questions?
As long as it doesn't drive me too far away. Yeah, Doug, I'll say no, save it for later, but go ahead. In other words, yes, unless it's
if I mark
too off track.
if I mark something for junk, will it be deleted on all of the systems that access the mail or just on the device that I am indicating it on?
Good question. Good question. Obviously, I'm not sure.
Okay.
So you're saying
Sorry.
you put it in junk on your iPhone. Will it go to junk when it comes in on Gmail as well?
No,
No, it won't go to, no, but will it go into junk on my laptop?
no, it will not.
It will
No,
not.
you have to deal with each device individually.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Hmm. If somebody could check that out on ChatGPT or something like that, I would be surprised if future mail that comes in wouldn't go to junk on all devices. But yeah, I could be wrong. Now let me switch gears for a second and go look at that same email on the internet, looking at. Oh, I should try it. I don't see anybody here I want to put in junk though. There it is. No reply. So I'm putting this particular one from the spine pre and post operative thing. I'm going to put it into spam. And even asked me if I wanted to. And here's all the ones that are going into spam here. The question is, does it go into junk on the? Well, the reason I'm hesitating to say, will it go into junk or spam in new emails that you get? I'm sure it won't put the ones that are in your inbox already, but it will put new ones there in other input devices. So would it go in there if I get one from them on my iPhone? All right. When I meet these folks that have, like Huey has 10,000 pieces of email in his inbox, and you look at it, by the way, Huey, is yours Gmail or some other um, email provider?
I have 7 different email addresses.
Ouch. Are they all coming together? You're forwarding them all together?
Yeah, with Thunderbird, you can have a unified inbox.
Right. I do. Okay. So, okay. I have a unified inbox in Gmail. And you'll notice I have 119 pieces of email here. And I can sort them oldest to newest, newest to oldest. If you're in one of those people who has thousands of email, I would go oldest to newest. So now it gives me my one that's back in 19 or 2021, right? And over here, if you check this box, it selects all the first 100 of them, or 50 of them in this case. And then you can click on delete, and you can delete all those emails at once. I was helping a person clean up their email, and they had like 10,000 pieces of email. And I did it this way. I clicked this box, hit delete forever, click the box, delete, click the box, delete. And within 15 or 20 minutes, I had taken care of all but about 500 of the pieces of email. And actually, we were looking at the dates, so we were going to keep just the last 2 months worth. Now, if I wanted, I could click up here and say, I only want emails from Huey. And there we have emails that have Huey's address in them. All right. And then I could click here and delete all of those. I'm not going to do that, of course. But if it were bells, I would type in bells and get rid of all the ones from bells. Then I would create that folder we talked about in Gmail. They call them labels and not folders. But I can drag it and drop it in some other folder. So if you're looking at your inbox and you want to take that email and you want to put it in spam, I could just go like that and drop it in spam. I could also scroll down and put it in. I think I have one down here called test. I'll put it in there. But you'll notice all those folders and subfolders I have. And I'll just put that one in. Okay. And now it's been moved. Okay. Okay. No, go ahead. That's basically what I wanted to cover tonight. And I wanted to see if you had any questions. Like I'm trying to do this and not quite sure how to do it. Now, Phil, hey, Phil, next month I'm going to ask you, how's your email?
I'll be embarrassed, I'm sure. You know, I was just checking the question about whether if you make it junk on one device, will it show up that way on another device? And I
Yeah.
think you were feeling that it probably should be that way. And the answer I got from Copilot was that's basically the answer, but it depends on whether or not the what you're using is using the IMAP protocol or the
Yes.
POP3 protocol. So
Yeah,
it's a
there's
little
two
bit
different
more complex.
protocols.
Yeah.
There's called a POP03 and IMAP in working with mail.
Mm,
And IMAP is supposed to synchronize across all devices,
yeah.
folders, subfolders, etc. Go ahead, Doug.
Bill. Yeah, the answer is yes, it does establish. If you say it's junk, it will be junk on everything. There's a twist if you use Thunderbird, because Thunderbird has its own adaptive junk setting, which you have to turn off.
Okay.
But if you turn it off, then if it's junk, it's going to be junk everywhere.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for bringing that up because I wasn't using that, and it's good.
Yep. Yep. All right. In conclusion, there are 4Ds decision framework. Delete it, do it, delegate it, or defer it. Delete it, that gets rid of it. Do it, respond, do whatever you have to do, that gets rid of the email. Huey, would you take care of this? And then I may put it in a follow-up folder and I can check back with Huey later, see if he's done it or whatever. And defer. Defer is the only one you should leave in the inbox for me. You might want to, if it gets to be too large, you might want to create a folder called action needed. Here's what you should be spending on. How many? This is not true for any of us, I bet. 20, a half, 30, 40 minutes a day. 20 minutes in the morning to clean up all the mail. 10 minutes midday and 10 minutes at the end of the day. It's the amount of time
I don't think so.
you should be spending on your email. I saw Huey laughing on that one. Okay. Okay, your 2-week challenge, everybody, right? Declare email bankruptcy, archive and delete everything older than 1 month.
Oh my God.
And if you need it, put it in. Doug's laughing. I'm you're hopeless. If you need it, put it in older than 1 month folder. And you'd be surprised how infrequently you need it. Right? Set up a subfolder structure. Check your mail 3 times per day for the next 14 days. And keep your inbox to less than 100. Some of you are lost causes, but okay.
Yeah. Bill, somebody pointed out in the chat a very important point that maybe some people missed. If you get a piece of mail from somebody you don't know or a spam mail or anything that's questionable, do not unsubscribe to it. Just delete it. Do not respond to it. Just delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a general rule of thumb, and some more expert than I can respond the way they would like. If I get an email asking me or telling me my system's going to blow up, or I need to get to the bank right away, or the IRS is calling, or I have to go to jury duty in the next 10 minutes, I delete them. Delete it is my battle cry to keep yourself getting into let's call it computer nightmare. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many phone calls. Well, I got this email from some. I have no idea what it's from or who it's about, but delete it. You know, come on. They'll have a sheriff show up at your door if you're supposed to be somewhere.
If you delete it, it still goes in the trash and it's still there. If you go
Oh, if
back.
it goes into the trash, right. I go in and clean out my trash probably once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
If you delete it, it's only there for 30 days.
Some of us have a setting for only 30 days. That's correct.
Something.
Yes, go ahead, Ken.
I have two email accounts, both Gmail, and I
Yes.
use Outlook 365 and have for decades now. I'm used to it.
All right.
and I don't know. But what I noticed when I sent you an email today, when you requested us send you emails, my emails leave the outbox. It takes a very long time. If you look at the time on my email, it happens to be the top one because it was the last one you got. It's 6:59. The others are 6:30. I immediately sent it to you. So how come my email got to you 29 minutes later than everybody else's? Is it because I use Gmail? They tend to then do a handoff to Outlook.
Can anybody help me with that? Ken, how old are you? It's probably your age. I'm kidding.
74.
I'm kidding.
I went through engineering school with a slide rule.
So did I. Okay, anybody have a response to on that? I don't. I blame mine on if I send it from Yahoo.
Now, I also have 10,000 emails in my Outlook file. Could that
Oh,
delay
that's probably
send and receive?
that's probably the problem. I don't think so, but it could be.
Yeah, to me,
In
it's
your
unrelated, but what do I know?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Diane has her hand up.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead,
hi,
Diane.
Bill. Yeah, it's Diane. I just had a suggestion that might help somebody and it might not. I was the worst abuser of email at one time in my life and had thousands. And what I decided to do was I sorted all mine, as most emails are sorted by date, so your current ones come in. And if you think about it, if you're looking at your inbox and you have thousands of emails in there, that is overwhelming to yourself, to your psyche. So what I did was I just kept the current month in my inbox and I made a folder for anything older than that. And then I went in and I moved. I didn't delete. I moved everything older than my current month to that folder. And I named that folder. I put it at the top and I made that folder old emails. And then I dedicated myself to at least 20 minutes every day, mostly morning, to looking at that email and keeping those new ones out there or sorted. And I made folders for everything I really wanted to keep. And it really made a difference for me. And then when I had time, I went over to the older emails and I started deleting and sorting those. And eventually I got it all cleaned up. And I have to say, I'm very proud of myself now. I have less than 50 emails in my inbox.
Outstanding.
Well, I'm not looking for a pat on the back. What I'm trying to do is share what I did that may help someone else.
Well, and I think the key thing you said, I feel much better about looking at my email.
Yes, if you look at your inbox and you see hundreds and thousands of emails in there, you don't know what it's doing to you emotionally, but that is affecting you. And if you look in your inbox and you only see the current month, well, there might still be a couple of hundred, depending on how many emails you get. And I
Right.
also did what you did. I sent things to spam, I sent things to junk, I unsubscribed, and you're right. You have to be careful with unsubscribing, but if it's a legitimate company, and you're just getting newsletters from, I used to get tech newsletters from, hundreds of companies. Well, I either sorted those into one folder or I started unsubscribing to them.
Yep. Super. Boy,
Just
Diane,
wanted to share that. And yeah, now I'm very proud of my inbox. I like to show it off. No, I'm just kidding.
you're a great commercial for my class. Got that. Ken,
I've heard that if you unsubscribe, that substantiates the address, or it tells
Yeah,
these people that
That's-
it's a real address.
It
So
does
it's not
in
a
some
good
cases.
idea.
Yeah,
Is that
Right.
right?
yeah,
yeah.
I've
but if
heard
it's
that
a
as well.
legitimate company, they, it depends on who your emails are coming from. I used to always say that too, never unsubscribe. But if you're dealing with a legitimate company, that's a different story.
How do you know without a magic wand?
Ken,
You-
Ken,
Well,
I
you got to
used to,
know who, yeah, you got to know who you're getting emails from. I mean, if it's somebody you don't know, then obviously that's not a legitimate company.
Diane, thank you so much. That is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful explanation of how to do it. Brilliant. Ken, question.
Thank you.
Have you tried sending from Outlook and been going to Gmail and sending an email directly from gmail.com online and see what the speed difference is? If it slows it down from Outlook, then it may be an Outlook issue. I don't know
There-
for sure.
I haven't
But it's
I haven't done that, but I've done the reverse of that. In other words, you know how they send you a code and you've got to use the code? Some of them as little as 3 minutes or 60
Right.
seconds or something. Well, when I don't see the code, which is all the time in Outlook, I go to Gmail and it's there. So that's why I
Yeah,
think
it's the
Gmail
timing.
Yeah.
is
Can-
handing it off.
Can-
But I have a question for the group. What is
I have
the
an
best?
answer.
What is the
go
best
ahead, Doug.
email to use? Is Outlook good?
Could I answer your first question,
Please.
which is why is it being delayed? Because Outlook gives you the capability, the flexibility, being positive, of being able to schedule the send receive interval. And if you've taken the default of 30 minutes, it will hold everything for the 30 minutes.
Excellent.
So I would suggest that you go into your settings and you go into the send receive tab and search around for it and see if that is not your problem.
Very good.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
In answer to your second question, it's all opinion. I was an confirmed Outlook user, and I finally moved to Thunderbird on my desktop. And I'm frustrated because I have to use multiple different emails because you can't get Thunderbird on an iPhone.
Correct.
But if you want to be in one system, then stick with Gmail because they're offered on all the different platforms.
I use
that-
the mail app on the iPhone.
Yeah, but again, it's a different one than Thunderbird.
Yeah, it's slightly different.
So it's a matter of personal preference, I think.
Yep.
I've used Gmail since it started. I mean, in 2004, April 4th, 2004. They started on April 1st. And so I have been happy with it. I am comfortable with it. The improvements that have come along, the labels I work with, and I go through and I delete hundreds of emails at a time, and I still have too many.
Good. Darlene, you mean
But
you
it's
use
just
the
a matter of taking the
you-
time to do it.
you use the Gmail app or internet Gmail or how? I have a
I go
Gmail
to
account.
gmail.com on my computer.
Yes.
I
Okay.
use my Gmail. I use gmail.com on my browser. I use the Gmail app on my tablet, on my phones. So
Yep.
yeah, I use Gmail. I don't
Yep.
use Outlook now. I use Outlook because I have a Microsoft account that is a different email address. So they're my two
Yeah.
backups. My Gmail is
Yep.
one backup, and for Microsoft, and for Microsoft is my Gmail address. So that worked
Gotcha.
out nicely. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
I have my hand up.
You do. Go ahead, Huey.
All right, a couple of things. One, I used to use Outlook religiously, as well as a program called Mail Washer, and I decided to go to Thunderbird because of one basic reason. I have, as I said, I have 7 email addresses, and Outlook would not allow me to have look at more than one at a time. So if I wanted to
Wow.
read email from 2 or 3 different email, I had to go switch from email address to email address where there's an one box, one main inbox for all of them in Thunderbird.
All inboxes. Yeah. Kate? Kate, did you have a question?
Yeah, I've never used Thunderbird or Outlook. I always just use Gmail, or I have a Yahoo account. What's the
Uh-huh.
point of using Outlook or Thunderbird or?
Your question is, what's the point of doing that?
What's the point of using those
If you're
programs?
comfortable with Gmail, where you're using it the way you're using it, I wouldn't change.
They all,
There
they
are
all
some
provide the same. They all provide the same function. It's just some of us prefer most of the same functions. Some of the items are easier to use with Thunderbird, for example, than they are with Gmail or Outlook. It's just a preference, and it's primarily what you get used to.
Okay, I just thought maybe I was missing something, but I'm like Jolene says, I'm comfortable with Gmail, so
Yeah, if I'm gonna do my mail on the internet, I'll use Gmail. 'Cause that's my go-to. I forward all my other accounts to my Gmail account.
you said if you were going to use email on the internet?
Right. If I'm going to use it on my computer and not have an application on my computer or my iPhone, and I'm going to go to Safari or Edge or
But
something like that,
yeah,
I'll go
but
to
all emails,
gmail.com.
but all emails on the internet, right?
Yeah, all the emails are on the cloud. It's a matter of how you access them.
Okay. I think
I
I
go on
just,
the internet. I go on the internet and go to gmail.com.
right.
I go on my computer. I can also go on my computer and go to Thunderbird, which is an application on my computer that goes to the Gmail cloud to get the mail.
So it's just another layer.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions? Huey and Jim, turn it back to you.
All right, thanks, Bill. We all learned a lot of questions, a lot of answers.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad.